with imagination there might be heaven, which is searched by all religious men. After death, the soul of the man disappeared. Where it goes, nobody knows.
The search for an all-powerful, supernatural being to believe in lies perhaps at the center of all societies across the world. For the tribes living in Arunachal Pradesh, the search is no different. Near about the only thing that has seemed to make things a little less complicated is that the tribal thought process has found ways to negotiate such perplexities quite simply. For the Miji tribe, as also for other tribes like the Apatani, Nishi, Adi and Tagin, animal sacrifice forms the basis of a belief system in which all good or evil that befalls humans is thought to be the result of the actions of benevolent and malevolent spirits, and only in appeasing these spirits are remedies to be found. Festivals and sacrifices then become the only expression and watermark of the idea of religion, where philosophizing finds little or no room at all. An instance to this is the Phungling festival celebrated by the Mijis at Nakhu village during October-November. It is a ritual observed today just as much to cleanse and protect the village from the threats of epidemic and drought as it is an effort to uphold a tradition that assumes an importance beyond the obvious. The time leading up to the festival is hectic, and people in the village busy themselves with cleaning the water sources and paths, gathering leaves and foodstuff, cutting bamboo, or like the gobo or the village crier, just plain getting things organized. For the younger generation though, for boys like Dorji Rijuju, the festival has become a spectacle that they come to participate in from places like Nafra, the nearest township where he now studies. It is a time to meet family, to enjoy the festivities. The meaning and relevance of the rituals cease to become anything significant in the changed lives they now lead. In a sense, the festivals today do more than merely appease the spirits. Importantly, they bind the people of the village closer together, especially at a time when it is so easy to move away in search of new opportunities, a fact that the local priest, the Give, seems to be acutely conscious of.
So the measure the Plangalisham Taimami vow, Tamawu, to the Duad, Ani, Namir Machine, Kaikur like the Ani, Shafru,
Sabandora the Shufru Penders, and is a pen chang, Gali chang, the young Madara chang, Makan chang, Munu chang, Nagana chang, Tamao chang, around those of the Galind, a Pongaland, and the Bianca Jali, the Chiru the Jung, the
Fungling stands slightly apart from the festivals of the other tribes because it portrays an epitome of religious syncretism where the seemingly commonplace animistic rituals have blended perfectly with the intricacies of a basic form of Buddhism, which is evident from the presence and participation in the rituals of a Lama from the neighboring Monpa tribe who are Buddhists. The Lama performs prayers near the Chorten, a Buddhist religious structure located at the ritual site called Phung Brang. On this day, no sacrifice is allowed in the village, and a he-goat considered sacred is let free after prayers are offered to it. The menfolk of the village are all actively involved in the sacrificial rituals, and the young even accompany the Givi as he visits all the families in the village to chase away spirits from their houses and bless them, a process that lasts all night long. In what can only be described as the sheer adaptability of tribal communities, today, rituals like the changing of the prayer flag on the sacred tree shares public space with popular Hindi film songs and stalls that offer all kinds of recreation that go to make the 3-day-long festival less tiresome and boring. Even gambling and dice are new necessities that have found their way into Nakhu, which incidentally is a 5-hour-long walk from the nearest town.
Now, Kululu, the thing that now is soon, Genu, Gani, the Tanata. Mokani, Jupiter, Ani. Could you tell me you lost sort of read the Macantas of readers of the Gisoda, Muzibana? Could you Macana tell me the Marisa, Tala, Gulu, the Minavaji? I need the Cholo Macana, Cholo Ashina, Cholo Alona, Cholo Abona, Cholo Amena, Runa, like this, Mala, Mavi card. Majamadan card, I need to the Tony Baby, the Capia, this sort of. I need the sort of Macana, Alona, allowed to take the Ashina, allowed to take the.
The status of the Givi, and in fact the entire system of beliefs and rituals practiced by the Mijis, is illustrative of almost all tribes in the state. In spite of the differences in the form of practice, the need to propitiate and appease spirits remained common in all the tribes, and in particular in the belief of Doni Polo, the sun and moon, which is followed by a large number of the tribes in the state. The sacrifice itself would come across as an uncomfortable necessity if it was not for the fact that the Givi, while addressing the animal, ushers and leads it through to the land of the spirits, all the time asking to be forgiven for the act that is about to be committed. The blood is later smeared on the bamboo and wooden images of deities that are crafted earlier by the villagers in the absence of permanent images. To Dorji, the events are not new. Only the experience seems to take on new meanings each time he comes back. Interestingly, Miji women are not allowed to share or even touch the meat of the sacrificial animal, and instead separately have to prepare their own feast. The last night of the festival, the night before the 4-day taboo of not leaving the village is actually lifted, is a time to wish well on every person. The Givi, again accompanied by his band of sleepy but enthusiastic young helpers, reach out to every individual and tie woolen threads as a talisman to ward off evil. They even leave thread lengths with expecting mothers. This unique interface of the two tribes, having completely different ways of life, stands out as a strong comment on the strength of these communities to assimilate and to adapt in a continual effort to live without conflict. For Dorji, the assimilation has begun early and he needs only to continue it. For the three men responsible to carry forward this tradition, they stand as if sentinel to it, persistent but yet vulnerable. Vulnerable because in recent times there has been a strong wave of religious globalization where new ideas are pushing out old ones and people are moving away from ancient belief systems to adopt progressive and organized forms of worship that seem to offer so much more. Mrs. K. Taeng left her belief in the traditional faith and converted to Christianity in 1964. And today, the celebration of Christmas has become as integral to her life as Fungling to the Mijis.
Kenapa ane abu yenam de tradisional aku de santi kamang nibulok ila ek parok takam korsa ila bum aida kopia dal ako lekoda da kepakimo ekuken dal ako dalota itarnen live kamang bukala dal lako dakapa Kristan pairongam kila sido kom ekta santi ko internet live pa em lamudong ate ngolu Kristan dakapa angupa ate kamang ganam bom nam takam aga galok agari nam takam akam matro isor ke santi dalok turnam dan patom Kristan pangolay bom do Kristan pairongam adu lokom holunga menok agami kumang ngol Yesus Kristus ka menok engkok dodokom engkok idokom tolek dong ngolo Kristan paidong holo mo pinam mapagdong ngolo ka burma burak kedo agdong ay ngolo ka holo mo pinam mapang mangolo ngolu holu mo pinam apongi ma mulo iya.
Our only difference is only the sacrificing animals to the evil spirit. That much only different. But all these things, all tradition, cultures, all same we are doing. And it is the Christian peoples are really they are preserving the tradition and culture.
Isor ke arong kuam ngolu piri. Mima milo takam akam pekum supo suya gerja ke pokoya. Dalok ke ngolu ke aku ya namlo. Ko purona zaman nam dung nolu ai. Nolu ke aku ya nam. Kerang ke aku ya namlo. Mima da milo korum ke pa itu ai. Milo ku telo nasgan engkong ko iya ai. Mima da kali akum lo patom duto. Mima akum patom lo agerito. Mima da sakor ke sapa ko mito kerapa. Supa Kristen pikumulo mima da la milo ko da akampa ibo hue. Rum ke ya bote aname anakamang. Ido la milo da isor bu ngoluma noluk milo da noluk isoram nam lagam ngol milo da akum lo mani hu ai. Kristen pa nama atu pasonam kota kamang agi patomaya sudokom. Pura santi.
And yet, even the traditional faith she refers to, Donyi Poloism, has itself seen a complete metamorphosis, egged on by forces that it can't compete with. The resurgent Donyi Poloism has seen new reflections within. Incense sticks, candles, hymn books, new concepts, new prayers, even new gods. The traditional image of the deities made of bamboo have been replaced with a new look altogether. Sacrifices are being gradually phased out. The spirits of the mountains and rivers have been given modern-day forms, and even the celebration of the Donyi Polo Day on 31st December becomes a necessary accommodation where we see the participation of a cross-section of society, even from a nearby school, who come complete with their marching band.
Asian tuye, delok ke bilang ala sodan, rinjin na duye, tabe, rinjin dan jincu palang ala, sodan ke ope de rada sok terlang pula, agudung ke soalang pula duye ko. Apila, kunsuem in mengarap ke birth of this Donyi Polo Yalam Kebang was primarily that we never had any organized way of practicing Donyi Poloism, though we had it traditionally. As regards lighting of candles, incense sticks, and using of bells here, using of water here in the Gangings, even many of our own people, they question us why these are being used, and many people say that these are borrowed from other practice of other religions. But we are using these things basing purely on our own traditional faith.
Gangings, the newly conceived places of worship like these, are spread across the districts of East Siang, Dibang Valley, Upper Subansiri. Today, there are 144 of them built within these last few years and are the venue for Saturday morning prayer, which has become as institutionalized as Sunday Mass in churches. Villages like Silok are finding more believers every day, people who come to find fresh meaning in their old faith. In these changing equations, the priest, variously called the Nibo, Nib, Miri, or the Givi, no longer remains the only intermediary to the supernatural, as God becomes more visible and accessible. Lay people now have a claim to conduct prayers and become priests, which in the old form was only through divination.
Rani polo hem ngo manying ko nying ka anabu yage bonam hi hong niam imatuai upangol kala ngoluk hupak ke agorwati nyolla inam ke dar hem kala inam ngoluk adi lok ipang iem parnam ke sapa inam ke sapa nako doing ko lango ka pala ngo agorwati nyolla inam ke dar hem ngo mudung Kinam ram nama ko manyong ko daya do naya emla dumpung kinam apem pom daya do naya emla ngo hupang mo sonam kadung emla ngo angong kedem pom pura ing ko do tom sudu.
This practice of their own faith in a new form, it has given them an idea that having a religion will certainly help to maintain our own tribal identity.
And yet, this vigorous resurgence of the tribal religion and identity has not been without doubts that mostly center on the involvement of a larger design that seems to be giving shape and directions to where the new Donipoloism is headed.
We do not get any financial support from any other organization outside. And from the government side also, we do not get any grant in aid, sort of financial aid.
The man responsible for the revival of Donipolo, Talom Rugbo, he is just someone wanting to share a vision with people he cares about.
We also thought that if we want to make our Donipolo religion a rational religion, in that case, we have also to adopt some new system. Therefore, we adopt or practice this prayer system. Through prayer only, one can get satisfaction, mental satisfaction, moral satisfaction. Also, we invoke Donipolo when we perform a rite for an ailment, because according to our Nibu system, they offer domestic animals to the evil spirit. But we say no, we will drive them out and we will put some barriers against this evil spirit to protect the ailment, to protect the human being. From the beginning, we did not have this image of our gods and goddesses. So, to make the people believe, or to make the people realized that yes, we have got God and goddesses which we worship in festival. So, from our imagination, we brought that image, and for the time being, we just give the image, the form of our human being. We do not imitate other communities' practice, but that develop from our own heart. I think we must have this thing. Then only people will be satisfied and they will find what they wanted.
It is as if these developments have been triggered, if not directly, then at least by an apprehension of the spread of other religions like Hinduism, Christianity, Kalki Puja, the Sai Baba faith, and others in Arunachal. An apprehension that needs to be guardedly expressed. For what cannot be questioned is the right and validity of each faith in its own place, and in the joy each gives to its believers.
In this world, there are many religions. Like in Bazaar, there are many things, but you go to Bazaar and you will buy particular things, what you need. Like this, when you have come to this world, there are many religions, but you have to purchase only one thing. That you have to accept one only religion. That way, I have accepted Christianity as my own religion, and then I found Christianity in Jesus only. The salvation I found in my life.
Today, when I see that the people are coming voluntarily to institutionalize this Tonipolo is faith, I feel that people have already realized that this is their own.
The idea of religion today has moved far from the herds and bamboo images of the tribal people, looking for higher, more complicated layers. Yet, in all this excitement, there remains just this lingering afterthought. Is there really no place at all in this for the ancient notions of worship? The search for new prayers and new gods appear to have come full circle.